Hi everybody, it's Kevin at Bear Creek Honey. This is just a real quick video. This is a follow-up of my earlier video on why hive moisture boards might not be a good idea. Um, I got a lot of feedback on that video. It's kind of one of my most popular ones. Uh, Mostly positive. I got some negative comments. Um, and discussion is, don't get me wrong, discussion is really good, and I appreciate discussion. I had one guy that got really upset at me, and we agreed to disagree on the topic, and then he just started, writing on everybody else's posts on why I'm going to lose all my bees this year, and I'm only a few year beekeeper, and there's a reason why my hives failed and whatnot. And I'll be honest with you, my hives failed when I had moisture boards on there with wood chips. So I don't know where he was going with that comment, but the pushback it was fine with me. But I just want to do a quick follow up, because if you don't really want to believe my opinion on this, and that's absolutely perfectly fine, maybe you'll take the opinion of a couple of very experienced beekeepers. Uh, One is Randy Oiliver, who runs scientificbeekeeping.com. He is the one that does all those trials. I'm going to show a clip real quick where he was doing a seminar at a bee club, and he talks about um, the condensation that occurs on the top of a hive and why you don't need the wicking material, and that's all you need is the foam board. So that, in essence, he agrees with me on that in that regard. The other one is Michael Palmer, and everybody's heard of him, obviously, if you've been doing any internet searching around for great videos. Mike lives up there on the Canada border, up in Vermont. He gets it doesn't really get any more moisture up there, and cold and snowfall than up in upper Vermont at the Canadian border where Michael lives, and he's got 1,500 hives. And although he really doesn't make mention of how he, other than wrapping his hives in tar paper for the winter, I'm going to show the video in the springtime of him unwrapping them, and he pulls it off, and again, all he's got is a pink foam board. He doesn't say that anything about moisture boards. He just uses foam board like I do, and an upper entrance for venting, like I do, like I was talking about. So if you're not going to take my word for it, you can take their word for it in the following clips.
This is for a cold winter climate. We don't have much of a break here, but the same principles still apply. So our coming out of hibernation in Mexico, that happens in November when pollen starts coming in. So coming out of hibernation is when you have a pollen flow. So we have a drought years here, and they shut down in August or September, and you start getting some fall pollen coming in. That would be when that would be a coming out of hibernation. So particularly in most areas in cold winter climates, that happens in somewhere between January and April, depending on how far north you are. The cluster looks like this right here. It's got a thick insulating shell of bees, about 1.5 inches thick, that holds it right about 55 degrees temperature out there. And inside, they'll drop down to 70 degrees or so as that shell produces heat. So when it gets cooler, the shell will shrink down. When the heat inside gets too intense, then those bees will say, hey, push out, and they'll make the cluster larger. So the cluster will expand and contract. I don't think I have it. Yeah, put a puff of smoke on them, and just wait a second. You'll see that there's plenty of space in the middle, and the bees within seconds will move away from the smoke. But these bees can't move because they're packed tight. That's the insulating shell of bees, keeping the inside thermoregulated. One of the things you can do if it's cold is you can just put insulation over the top of your hive. It doesn't have to be absorbent insulation. It doesn't have to be straw, just a piece of styrofoam over the top will help this heat loss at the top. Because if you're seeing this heat loss at the top, that means you have moisture condensing on the lid in the middle underneath, and you're raining cold water on the bees during the winter. If you put a piece of insulation over the top of the hive, then that moisture condenses on the sides of the hive and runs off and doesn't make your cluster wet.
So yeah, Randy Oiliver explained it a little bit more succinctly than I did, as far as really all you need for wintering your hives. And let's take a look and see what let's look and see how Michael Palmer winters his bees.
This is February 20th, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 40 degrees or so, a little bit more. Just starting to cloud up a little bit. It's been bright, bright sunshine. And we got a front coming in, and it's going to snow tonight. But I thought I'd walk in here and check it out. Whoa! And it looks to me like they've had a flight. I've been to 2 other yards and they had a good flight. The last yard I went to had 100% alive. This is a nuke yard. See, and there are something like 48 nukes here, something like that. And it looks to me like they had a pretty good flight. Look at that. Boy, look at that. Look at the poop. Everywhere you look. Right up and down the rows. Yep, they had a good one. Wonder if I should open one. Let's see what one would be good to open. Well, this is the closest. Why don't I open this one? So I first have to pull the string. Undo the string. Tip the snow off. And there's the foam. Put the foam on. Glued down quite well. That one's alive. I can feel it's alive because it's warm. Okay. That one's alive. I can feel it because it's warm. I have a little hive tool here. A little hive tool action. And I wonder what they got. See, I'll pick it up from out here, out on the outside edge. And, oh my goodness, put it back down again. Whoa! They are just full of bees. Absolutely full of bees. Boy, I hope they got some honey left in there. Look at that. I only had it up for a second. And a lot of bees came out. I wonder if it's in there. Sure. See the hive tool? Let's see, right? See that hive tool? It's all covered with honey, right? They got honey. You got plenty of honey in there, so that's a beauty. So I'll put this cover back on here. And so that's what I expect them to look like. You know, that thing was just packed with bees. This is a nice yard. I love this yard. This is actually a brood factory yard, so this is one of my 2 brood factories. And I try to stay on top of these bees as far as not letting them swarm and making sure they all have good queens. And so they've gotten themselves a flight. So there, February 20th, first one of the season. Have a good day.
So yeah, Michael's not successful at all in his beekeeping, is he? In his winterizing. Listen, you can do what you want as far as wintering your hives. I get it. Nobody wants to be told that their elaborate moisture box is overkill for keeping your bees. And I said this in my video. Will it work? Yeah, it'll work. The only problem I can see is what happens if it becomes maximum saturated. You have a big colony and the wicking material gets saturated and you're not there to attend it, and it's and then now your moisture wicks down, and now your moisture is on the lid of your inner cover, instead of being wicked up into this whatever material, pillows or cedar chips or whatever. So, you know, to each their own. I get it. I totally understand it. I stand by my assessment of wintering hives. Michael seems to be pretty successful the way he winters his hives up in Vermont, and Randy Oiliver, who does nothing but well, not only is he a commercial beekeeper, but he's also runs trials um, to find the best ways to beekeep. Um, you can take his advice as well, or you can do it your own way. So it's up to you. Thanks for watching and happy beekeeping. Good luck in 2019.